descriptions that has emerged to describe the current environment is VUCA, which is volatility, uncertainty, complexity and ambiguity. And I'm talking with Nigel Povah, who is editor of Assessment Centres and Global Talent Management, about the precise problem of how do you manage talent in that kind of world. Okay. Nigel, over the last decade, talent management has really burst on the scene and has become a really important aspect of management. So much so that for many CEOs it's one of their top 2 or 3 priorities. What are the challenges for this approach, given the complexity and the changing world in which we live?
It's a very interesting question, and something that the researchers, the academics have been looking at over the last few years. And recently a term has come to light called VUCA, which stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity and ambiguity. And there's a recognition that it's having a major impact on how organisations have to go about trying to make sure that they attract, retain, nurture, the top talent. Lots and lots of dramatic implications behind that, which mean that the whole ethos and approach to how you go about conducting a talent management program or strategy has to be reconsidered. Principally, one of the factors that really comes to the fore is that this pace of change, which has been known about for a long, long time, is now finally been recognised as kind of permanent. Hitherto it was thought, well, maybe things will settle down after a while, but they're not. And this recognition of permanent chaos, permanent change, has a big, big impact on how organisations have to go about or thinking about the type of people they want to bring into their organisation, how do they develop those people, and what they do to retain them. And equally, this emphasis on retention is in a way no longer as critical as it used to be, because you could argue, well, we just got to accept that, in a changing world, we might need to bring new people in, different people in, with fresh thinking. So there are many, many interesting implications, and this concept of VUCA certainly is causing a lot of organisations, a lot of boards, CEOs to have to reconsider how they go about implementing their talent management strategies.
So specifically, how are they using assessment and development centres in that kind of context?
Well, assessment centres are traditionally renowned for being excellent vehicles for identifying potential. And if you think about it, a lot of what I've just referred to is all about looking for people who are going to be able to behave a bit differently to that which you've seen them behaving before, or the types of individuals you currently have within your organisation, say. So the assessment centre or development centre type of approach allows you to design simulations, because that's what centres comprise of principally, which will put individuals in situations that challenge how they will handle uncertainty, complexity. One of the chapters in the book, chapter 17 I think it was, refers to a very interesting case study which was carried out at a Danish pump manufacturer named Grundfos, one of the world's leading pump manufacturers. Now they had the wish to put in place a strategy, a diversification strategy, recognising that as they're perhaps the global leader in pump manufacture, the question for them is, well, how long might the world go on needing pumps? So they might need to diversify into other industries, other forms of manufacturing. They had a tremendous centre of excellence within their organisation, and they want to transfer that expertise and excellence into other sort of synergistic or similar industries.
Yeah.
So they wanted to assess their top talent with a view to finding the individuals who would be able to take them in those new directions, but equally doing so globally. They are a global manufacturer, and they wanted to have people that they could take out of Denmark and deposit them, say, in Brazil or in the Middle East or Russia or wherever, with a view to saying, well, okay, we've got new opportunities over there, we're opening up new industries and the like. So the case study describes how there were different competences that were being assessed, the competences that reflected those sorts of requirements, and secondly, different types of exercises to measure those sorts of qualities. In particular, there's quite a heavy emphasis upon putting individuals in crisis type situations where the change is dramatic and immediate, and the need is there to find a solution to that. So putting the individuals under quite a lot of pressure, but seeing how well they could cope with it, and could they display the necessary competencies that would be required for them to fulfil those sorts of roles.